Okay, hey there guys, so we're finally back to the season now. We're in season, I think it's 40, whatever it is. So our first war, we're up against Legion. I'm going to be going down path 7 the full way. I have to do it in 2 runs, but I'm going to be down path 7. I go in with Apocalypse for all these fights. Odin for a pre-fight for a teammate. Cable for the synergy. So this is now a rank 4 Apocalypse, as you saw. I asked my officer like the day before if he needed any last second rank ups because I had a couple rank 4s I could do, and this was one of the ones he asked for and I got it the very first war, so that was really cool. Go for the power start ones, and I have on, I think it was a 150% boost and then a 12% damage, so I don't quite get back up all the way. And my strategy for this fight going in was I need to land an intercept or something where she doesn't have her cleanses up beforehand, just so that way she doesn't get the node. The node, if they cleanse or purify, they then gain like a damage reflection. I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, if I bait out a heavy, like I did at one point, I just want to make sure that I wait until the end of my combo to throw it. And it wasn't too hard of a fight. She has fairly low HP. I had to heal up a lot because, as I said, rank 4, mildly boosted, so 75,000 health. And suicides go off of boosted health, but willpower's off of base health. And I had asked my officer if full or half suicides, and right as I started is when he got back to me, but I had to start the fight. I was about to be having to do something where I wouldn't be able to be on my phone for a while. So for Rintra here, this would be a solid placement if Rintra had something to make him purify. Because you actually have to knock down Rintra, which gives him the armor breaks. So yeah, I just have to make sure I mix in a couple of the knockdowns. And I get a neutralize here, but as you see, he's not even duped. So I was comfortable taking the risk of dexing the SP2. I don't have any ruptures on me. He doesn't have the dupe, so he doesn't get the power gain. Neutralize doesn't work with Mystic Dispersion. So this is pretty simple. The recoil is taking a bit of a toll on my HP. Right, I'm down another 15% on this fight. But it was a pretty simple fight other than that. As I said, I just have to make sure I throw in a couple heavies there, and it was pretty good. That could definitely be, yeah, if Rintra had a way to have the damage reflection appear on him, that could definitely be an annoying fight, but it wasn't too bad for that path there, and he wasn't even duped, so not that I wasn't worried about that fight, but it wasn't too bad. Here are a couple interesting fights. So Kingpin with Apocalypse, I've done this fight before on path 7, but on older nodes. As you can see here what boosts I went for, and I went for the 200% and the 8% this time. I maybe could have gone for the 200% and the 12, because I'm actually going to be taking a mini-boss on the island this time. So that could have been something I was doing. I also thought about applying a regen boost here to not have to use a potion between these two fights, but I decided to go for the power start one for speed. When I was doing these, I was in the car. So for Kingpin, the main things you have to watch out for are just the fact that he's not going to shrug off any of this stuff, which will slowly increase his power rate by a fair chunk. But Kingpin, you just keep your debuffs on with Apocalypse, so I just really need to land like another parry here or get the special intercept off. I do, and the second SP2 just absolutely rinses him down, and 27 hits, 27-second fight, really fast fight. Rank 4 Apocalypse with the boosts going is such a crazy champion. It's not quite Ghost level, but for power back boosts, it's one of the champions that's most similar, I feel like, to Ghost. So here is, if you guys remember from last season, I think it was in the first war as well, I had that Atuma here with Archangel. So it's not quite the same level of fight, because Ma doesn't debuff Shrug, right? But I have to rely on the RNG to get a parry off, or hope that he blocks. And as you can see, I'm already up to 5, almost 10, and he is not parrying. Finally he blocks, so I'm able to drop a heavy, but I'm at 15 charges, so if he gets into focus again, I won't really have the time to drop a heavy. I really need that parry there, and I get it. So he stays at 15 charges, and here I can finally get off my SP2. Ma has the ability that lowers the power you get from passive power. SP2 re-triggers that, so here I see my falter coming on, so I'm just going to have to back off and wait a second. And again, I'm just looking for anything that I can get as an opening to parry. I was a little bit slow there because I checked, I saw the parry, and I checked over to the left side of my screen to make sure I registered how many Black Tongue charges I was at, because I've had that happen to me before, where to try to rush down a fight against a Maw, I accidentally did it too late, and I got a falter, I got the miss, so I got the degen. So I wanted to make sure that didn't happen, but I got parried there, but luckily I have a 4, because of the synergy, I have a 4, 4 charges Apocalypse, so I'm stun immune. Apocalypse eats those items, bro. Halfway through my items, and I didn't die. I didn't even make many major mistakes in any of the fights, I don't think. Maybe like a couple things like here or there that would have saved a second, saved a bit of health, but it's just crazy. So for this Korg is global. First mistake of this fight. If I didn't check technically, I would have had my power start 1. But I check and I'm like, 4 seconds, that's plenty. So I take that first parry, and then I miss that second one. So I wanted to get the disorient timer on me, so that way I'm disorient immune pretty early in the fight. If you don't know what the global does, it gives them those power rate things. And I was not respecting them enough, and I wasn't paying enough attention early in the fight, so he builds up a lot of these early, and I also forgot about the fact that this node has Limber. I was like, why are my stuns so short? Limber. So here, as you can see, I'm really pushing that Limber border really close. And at this point, I now know how much this SP2 is going to give him. It gives a ton of power there. That is a lot of power to give someone. As you can see, he's at 6 of these charges now. So combos are giving him a ton of power, which is almost working in my favor because I can really easily cycle his SP2s. I'm pretty confident in the Korg SP1 decks, but once you're against like any champion, once you're like, 15 dexes into a fight or something, it starts slipping. So right here, I could have thrown the SP2, it probably kills. But I decided I was going to play this safe. Dex against the wall. I should have thrown a light there, which would have saved me a bit of HP, making the finish look a little bit cleaner, like 60% instead of 55%. Overall, that fight was not very bad. Could it have been done cleaner? Yes, probably. But again, I wasn't too mad at that fight. It was actually pretty fun, as I said. I kind of enjoyed him having all that power because I could just cycle those SP2s. It did get a little bit close at the end where he had those SP2s close to the SP3 at a couple times. That one was maybe closer than I would have liked. But for the final score of the war, it was 8-2. Pretty solid win for us, down below 8,000 seconds again. Last season was a lot slower, as you guys remember. And they actually had a little bit of a slip up, only getting 148 out of 150 down. But they were down on a few deaths, so it didn't really change the score of the war, it just changed the score for them at the end of the season. They're down a couple more points than they probably would have liked to be. And yeah, that'll wrap this up for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for coming back. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye. I think I just recorded that all on the wrong mic, but I kind of liked the recording. Sorry about that. Hope you guys still enjoyed it. Bye.